Good morning, Year 2 artists. Today's sheet is a sheet that's dated Tuesday the 5th of January. Obviously, it isn't Tuesday the 5th of January, but we haven't had the January we were quite expecting. Today we are going to look at changing the tint and shade of a colour. And we're going to be doing that by gradually adding white to change the tint, or adding black to change the shade. Okay, so what you're going to do today is you're going to start by painting this segment here, any of the primary colours. You can choose which one you fancy. I'm going to go for blue, and you're going to use all of those successful steps for powder painting. So I'm mixing up my blue. I think that looks a bit watery, so I might need a bit more powder. And I'm going to paint this segment with my primary colour. Until it's full. Pause the video now and have a go at painting your segment. When you've painted your segment, give your brush a good clean and then dip it. Just take a tiny bit of white and you're going to add that to your blue. Give it a mix. What I have done by adding white to my blue is I've changed the tint. And next to your segment, you're going to paint another segment with your new shade of blue. Like so. And then you're going to give your brush a good wash again. And do the exact same thing. Into the white and into your blue to change the tint. And you're going to paint your next section. And then you're going to do the exact same thing again. Wash your brush, into the white, into your blue, and paint your next segment. And I think if you did it one more time, the colour you had would basically just be white. There's a hint of blue in there. And your final segment, I don't think you would be able to tell that it was blue at all. What you've just created is called a tint wheel. And you can have a go at doing that yourself with any of the primary colours. Feel free to go back through and watch the video and pause it while you have a go yourself. Okay, now you're going to have a go at changing the shade of a colour by gradually adding black. I can only apologise for the typo on the sheet, but I'd already printed 90 by the time I realised, and I didn't want to waste the paper. So you might just want to cross out where I've written white and write black above it like I have to just make that super clear. Okay, you've got a new segment here, and you might want to change the primary colour you use, or you might want to use the same one. I think I'd like to use the same because I want to see the difference between changing the tint and changing the tone. So I'm going to start off by painting it blue. You can either pause and have a go, or you can paint along with me now, whichever you like. And then this time, instead of gradually adding white, I'm going to gradually add black. But I need to be even more careful to make sure that I'm only using a tiny amount of black, because you will end up with a black sludgy mess really quickly if you add too much. So literally take the tiny tip of your brush and dip it in the tiny weeniest bit of black that you can. I've got hardly anything on there. And add that into your blue. And if you think you've got more left on your brush and you don't want to add it all in, just wash it off. Don't put too much black into your colour. Give that a mix. Oh, the shade of blue I've got now looks like a stormy sky. It's quite watery, so I think what I'm going to do is add a bit more blue powder. Aha, here we go, it's come out a bit stronger. This is my finished product. I didn't film myself do the whole thing for you, but this is what it's turned out like for me. You can see how quickly it got very dark indeed when I started adding the black. Yours might look different to this, and that's absolutely okay. I just want you to have a go at adding the black and noticing how quickly it changes the shade of the colour. So side by side you can really clearly see the impact that adding white and adding black has on a colour and the differences between the two. Hold on to this because you are going to use this new knowledge lots more in our art unit. You can see underneath each wheel, underneath your tint wheel and your shade wheel, there is space for you to write. All I want you to do here is to just summarise what you've just done. So a sentence that I might use to summarise what I did here: I changed the tint of my colour by adding white. Full stop. And a sentence that I'm going to use to summarise my work here is: I changed the shade of my colour by adding black. Full stop. Lots of the tricky words in that sentence are in the learning objective at the top, so you can just copy those. Happy painting, you two, and feel free to send us in a picture of your tint wheel and your shade wheel if you would like to. I'd be really interested to see how yours turn out.